Greetings, friends. Last time we discussed about the power of habits, and continuing from there, as part of the power of habits, we will see the next one, which is about what you're spending. So this is the next chapter which we are covering today. The first one, very interestingly, talks about Warren's habits and his perception about how to spend money. So there's a very interesting story. The story goes like this, which is Warren's old car. Okay, so the chapter name is What You're Spending. And in this, the first one, it talks about Warren's old car. So a small story about, a very interesting one about, why Warren has not changed his old car. So I read, Warren once shared an interesting story with me. Here, me means it's not Subbu, it's the author. Here it is Mary Buffett who is talking, who is actually, quoting her experience, in fact. For many years, he drove an old Volkswagen Beetle. People knew he could afford a new car and thought that the reason he kept driving the old was because he's cheap. So rather than being offended by their opinion, Warren said, look, a new car will cost me $20,000. And 30 years later, it is going to be worth for nothing. In fact, it may not even last for 30 years. However, if I compound $20,000 annually for 10 years, author has not given what is the interest. It is going to be about $1,50,000. So they say $150,000. In our Indian parlance, we say $1,50,000. In 20 years, it will probably become $1.5 million. And in 30 years, it is going to be worth $9.9 million. So probably, I could see the interest rate, what he has, it's not the interest rate, the opportunity to earn. So he's keeping it at least actually, 15 to 20% is what I could figure it out from here. And he says, $9.9 million, that's just too much to pay for a car. That's what he says. Okay. So Warren habitually thinks about the purchases in terms of how much the item will be worth in the future and the comfort it gives now. If the comfort can be achieved with much lesser price, he prefers that, and the remaining amount he invests. Okay, very interesting though. Warren habitually thinks about purchases in terms of how much the item will be worth in the future, when its cost is compounded. And most of the times in life insurance, most of the sales pitches are made around this. The current value, or the present value of future cost, the present value of future money, the present value of future investment, the opportunity lost if you are not taking your decision to invest, or your decision to take right insurance policy. So it very well gels with our line of work. Okay. If you can adopt this thinking, whenever you are about to buy an unnecessary piece of apparel or a gadget, how much money will you be able to save and compound in 30 years? So the dilemma is investment or spending. This is the big dilemma. Okay. So this dilemma continues for most of us, and most of the times our customers do not take decisions because of this dilemma. Of course, we are planning to have our session on behavioral finance. So when we talk about the behavioral finance, we will see some of the biases people carry, customers carry, and because of their upbringing, because of their education, because of their exposure to various ways of investing, what they have seen very closely. That's where this investment or spending dilemma comes, and their biases do come out. Going back to the book. So I read, Warren said, most people spend first and save whatever is left over. He says, isko ulta karo, make it other way. But in fact, what you should do is save first and spend later. Believe it or not, the small reversal in this thinking can make a drastic difference in our lives. The next time you receive your paycheck or amount getting created in our savings account or salary account, let's make sure 20%, 30% set aside for savings first. You can then spend the remaining amount with peace of mind. Later in this book, I will talk about what you can do with the money that you set aside. I here means, the author, okay? For now, it's important for you to adopt the mindset that every penny counts. So let's see how this every penny counts. Okay. There was a time when Warren was in New York City and found himself in an elevator with some strangers. He was so famous by then that everybody in the lift knew who he was. All of them couldn't help but notice that there was a penny on the floor. But no one did anything about it. Finally, Warren bent over, picked the penny and declared, "A penny on my way to the next billion." So other people thought Warren Buffett के सामने क्या झुके हैं और उसका एक्चुअल पेनी निकाले हैं, क्या सोचेगा ये बंदा? तो कोई नहीं निकाला तो मैंने वो खुद निकाला. So he himself bent over and he picked up that penny. So how do we find that extra penny? Very good, question to ponder over. And that too, when we have our customers before us, they keep saying, I don't have money right now. Though we will not be able to help them out, but at least we can, we can see that thought in their mind. Problem in this may help. I'm not saying, this will really help that objection or the masking of not buying our products. It may help. So why don't we stay focused and find out what he is going to say, how to find that extra penny. So let us see how that extra penny is found. When my son Sam, it's not my son, it's Mary Buffett's son. Okay. So when my son Sam was in college, I paid all of his expenses, including lodging and tuition. Every month I sent him a few $100s so that he could occasionally go to restaurants instead of having every meal in the school cafeteria. But every month he would run out of money and ask for more. One day I visited him at school, and while I was driving him somewhere, I asked, Sam, what are you spending the extra money on? You have everything. This question asked by Mary Buffett, Warren Buffett's daughter-in-law. So here Sam is a son of Peter Buffett and Mary Buffett. So Sam replied, well, I don't know, Mom. Before I could continue the conversation, he suddenly pointed ahead and said, oh, wait, can we just stop here? I want to get a cup of coffee. I pulled over, followed him into the Starbucks, and watched while he bought a cup of coffee that cost more than $5. Out of curiosity, I asked, how many cups of coffee do you drink in a day? I don't know, he replied. My friends and I stay up late most nights, so we buy Starbucks, probably a couple of cups per day. Shocked by his answer, I stared at him and replied, if you're spending $10 a day, $365 days a year, you're spending thousands of dollars on coffee. Once we got back to the car, I drove straight to a discount store and bought Sam a coffee machine. And then I went back to Starbucks and bought a Starbucks cup, coffee cup. I gave the two items to my son and announced, make your own coffee, son. Put it into this Starbucks cup and you will look cool. Fortunately, Sam followed my advice and has managed to save thousands of dollars every year as a result. That looks sometimes, in a different way, but let me tell you, I have practiced this. I was coming to office by cycle. So my fuel bill every month was approximately 10 to 12,000 rupees. I was coming by cycle. I was only using my car in the weekend. I was okay. Keep this in mind. Till 2019, I was coming to office by bicycle only. From 2017 to 2019, 2 years I used cycle for my commuting. Frankly, I saved a lot of money. Though it was initially I was thinking not to save, only for the fitness I was doing it, but we could really find how much money we can save. That 12,000 rupees per month will really help us. Or entire year it is 1,20,000. I realized it when I used that money for a good purpose. Okay, so it is forcing me to think back again, to commute to office bicycle rather than using my car. I may start as soon as possible. I'll be sharing my the day when I'm doing that on this channel once again. Okay, building up your saving muscle like this. So how this can happen? Let us see that. In one of the workshops Sean and I conducted, here I means Mary, a participant provided a very useful suggestion to help people start saving. He suggested that we practice savings by taking a small step every week and progressively increasing our commitment. So the participant said, this is what I did. I saved $1 in the first week. In the second week, I set aside $2. In the third week, I saved $3. By the 52nd week, my savings have become $52 a week. This method illustrates three important concepts: progressiveness, increasing milestones, and consistency. Let us see these one by one. Progressiveness. Very often, people tend to set ambitious goals. If they cannot achieve their goals within a short time, they tend to give up. It is a very important part. We need to have our goals progressively so that we build a habit rather than, once a big shot and after that actually, setting it aside or, keeping quiet. Increasing milestones. One reason many people find it difficult to build positive habits is that it gets boring after a while. So we need to have certain kind of challenges so that we keep trying. That excitement always stays. When something is new, people are excited about it, but they soon get bored with it. Eventually, when the excitement has passed, many of them just give up. That's what happens with most of us, whether it is gym or reading a book or doing anything. So we eventually give up because we don't put that increasing the milestones or extra excitement will not add to it. Here, increasing milestones means add those extra milestones, add those extra masala so that we always keep raising the bar. When we keep raising the bar, obviously we'll be interested more and we'll stay put in the same habit. However, changing our goal every week makes us look forward to the next week as the challenge becomes harder and more exciting. It's like playing a game. As we progress to the next level, the goal becomes more challenging. This is probably the reason why people become addicted to games. Make savings into a game and become addicted to it. Okay. Though we have monthly premiums, we generally do not take it. The reason being we are worried about persistency. But you can try, because when you want to invest, you can certainly have that discipline of saving continuously. We may not expect that from a customer, but we can certainly do it for ourselves. So I have few insurance as well as SAPs where the monthly commitment is always there. Okay, so that we have this game of savings every month. And there are some SIPs which give 15-day SIP and 7-day SIP also. Believe me, you will get addicted to that. And when people keep asking about how can I time the market, at least from my experience, I can relate with this book more because I'm a common investor. But I can find more commonality with Warren Buffett. The reason being, I find it more secured way of investing. Whereas the way others do, it makes me scared. And out in the market, people are like me, they're scared. It is their hard-earned money. We all started our beginnings, most of our beginnings are humble. Okay, so keeping that in mind, we can, you can try for yourself also. Get into, weekly SIP. You can get into 15-day SIP. You can get into monthly SIP, quarterly SIP also. You will see the timing of the market over a period of time. Okay, we'll move ahead. And the last part of this particular what you are spending is consistency. With a better understanding of these three important concepts, you can apply them to help. You can apply them to help you build a good saving habit. The starting amount does not matter. What is important is to begin taking action. Consistency is the key to building our muscle memory and turning something into habit. Okay, guys, all the best. Do subscribe and press on the bell icon so that next video when we upload, you will get the notification. Thank you so much. See you next time.